Hi guys, coming at ya. Oh, hey, nailed it. Okay, you want to go take a nap over there? Okay, you go down there. Coming at you with Chloe from The Office. It's getting dark, and I'm gonna read in the dark. And I'm on chapter 31 of The Collector. I didn't want to stay at home any longer. Mom was in the kitchen doing dishes. She must not have heard me and Grandma, but she did notice how angry I was as I stormed past. "Honey, what's wrong?" she asked. I didn't answer. There was so much anger inside of me that I knew if I stopped and talked, I would just start yelling things I would regret. I didn't know where I was going, only that I had to go somewhere. I stormed out the front door and toward the road. Mom was behind me. She called out that I had to come back, but I wasn't listening. I wasn't going to listen to anyone, not any longer. I knew I was going to get in trouble, but I didn't care. What was the worst that could happen? They'd ground me? I already had enough weird rules to follow, and it's not like they could keep me from watching TV or going online when I couldn't do that anyway. My anger gave me a sort of clarity. I was already trapped, and that means getting in trouble couldn't make anything much worse. I was down the road when I realized where I was going. There weren't too many places nearby, so I guess it wasn't much of a surprise. My feet were heading me straight toward Vanessa's. I was going to go and apologize and tell her that we should really just run away together. No, children, don't do that. Bad idea. Wait, hold on a second. Hey, I'm recording. Okay. Where was I? We could go to a big city where the stupid adults in our lives could never find us, and we would have fun and not be stuck out here in the woods. Again, bad idea. The book didn't say that. That's my advice. Do not run away. Listen to your parents and other adults. I really thought that Mom would drive by and make me stop walking. Maybe she realized I needed to be out of the house. Maybe she realized that there were too many rules. Or maybe she knew the truth, that I was going to talk to Vanessa after she'd run off. Or maybe she just knew that I was angry and that she needed to let me blow off some steam. It didn't matter. In no time at all, after not being passed by a single car, I was on the side path that led to Vanessa's house. The woods were once again thick and quiet here, heavy, like everything was waiting and watching me pass. The woods were eerie, but they were just woods. There weren't any ghosts to come out and scare me in the light of day, no monsters waiting in the bushes, and every step was another reminder that I'd been lied to all this time, that we were all just playing along to keep Grandma from feeling bad. I didn't want to play make-believe anymore, not when it was ruining my life. After what seemed like no time at all, I reached Vanessa's house. It was definitely much cooler in the glade, and the air smelled heavy. No sense of baking today. No cookies or cinnamon. The air smelled a lot like Grandma's bedroom. Suddenly, I realized just how stupid I was for coming out here on my own. I stopped walking. The air was gravely silent. I could hear everything, though there wasn't anything to hear. Until I did hear something, and it made my skin grow cold. Crying. Vanessa. I walked slowly to the front door, my feet crunching way too loudly on the dead leaves and sticks, trying to avoid stepping on the doll heads that had fallen on the path. Her crying got louder. That's when I heard a voice. Her voice. I knew it from the way my blood ran cold. Beryl. I grow hungry, Beryl rasped, her voice crawling down my spine on centipede feet. You must bring me another. I can't, Vanessa said through tears. Please, just let me go. You can and you will, or else. Vanessa cried out again. I'd never heard someone sound so scared. I didn't know what to do. Should I knock on the door? Should I run and go get the police? Before I could think, an angry growl sounded on the other side of the door. Perhaps you are lucky. I smell a child. My body kicked into action. I didn't think. I ran. In my rush, I tripped on a doll head and stumbled into one of the bird baths, knocking more doll heads to the ground. They should have scattered everywhere, but instead they stayed where they landed. And then, slowly, they turned, dead eyes zeroing in on me. I froze in terror. Josie! Beryl hissed from somewhere that felt like it was inside my head. My body kicked into action. I ran straight for the road, over the doll heads. I felt them smash under my feet. I felt them crying out. Their cries didn't stop until I was safe on the road. And that's the end of chapter 31. One more. Chapter 32. I ran all the way home, my blood pounding in my ears so hard that I couldn't think. My brain was a mixed up mess. Beryl was real. Beryl was real. I didn't know how I knew that the voice inside was Beryl's, but I did. It sounded like the creature that had been hissing outside my window, the voice that had chased me in my dreams. Only now, in the daylight, I wasn't being chased. I ran until I reached my front door, and when I got there, I ran straight up to my grandma's room. Grandma, I'm sorry. I said, you were right. Beryl is real. I heard her. She has Vanessa. But was that right? It sounded like Vanessa was being held hostage. What about her Aunt Tilda? Had Beryl taken her too? We have to help her, I continued, because Grandma Jeannie wasn't answering. She was breathing hard, and even though it was cool in her room, sweat dripped down her forehead. Mom came in then. She must have heard me run in, or else she heard me yelling. Josie, calm down, she said, trying to sound soothing. She stepped in and put a hand on my shoulder. No, you don't understand. Vanessa's hurt and we need to help her. Beryl has her. Mom sighed. She didn't answer at first. When I looked at her, she looked almost as tired as Grandma Jeannie. Josie, enough. What? Mom looked from Grandma to me. Then she knelt so she was eye level and lowered her voice to whisper. It's bad enough that your grandmother believes these things, she said, but I'd hoped that you were old enough to understand the difference between fantasy and reality. Beryl isn't real. There isn't any danger. But, no, Josie, I don't want to hear any more of this. Your grandmother is sick, you know that, and this is only going to make it worse. Come on. She stood and began walking away, leading me out with her. But Vanessa is fine. I just called her house. That made me stop in my tracks. You called her? How? She left her number with me last night, so we could arrange another sleepover with her aunt. She also wanted to apologize for leaving so rudely earlier. You spoke with Vanessa? I asked. I couldn't believe it. No, Mom said I spoke with her aunt just after you ran off. I figured you might go there. My heart was hammering. This didn't make any sense. Vanessa and her aunt were trapped with the monster. Did that mean maybe Beryl was forcing her aunt to talk on the phone like robbers did to their hostages to make the police think everything was okay? Why was I the only one who knew that everything wasn't okay? You spoke to her aunt? Yes, Josie, and she and Vanessa are both just fine. They are? Yes, Josie, she sighed again. We were headed downstairs toward the kitchen. You see, she said, you're just letting your imagination get the better of you. Everything's going to be just fine. In fact, her Aunt Tilda and I made plans for you. Next Friday, you're going to stay over at their place. Tilda said she would be very excited to have you stay with her. Even though she said it cheerily, it still made my skin go cold. There was no way I'd stay the night there, not with Beryl hiding out. It didn't make me feel any better to know that Vanessa's aunt had talked to my mom. In fact, it made me feel worse. This meant that no one would believe me. I only knew one thing. Beryl was real. And she had my best friend and her aunt trapped. It was up to me to save them. Oh man, what is going on? Is Beryl her aunt? Does Beryl have Vanessa and her aunt hostage? Is it all in Josie's head? Maybe we'll find out next chapter. See you next time, Buck Lake.